Perfect. Salute, and welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now swimming in the deep end with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again. Oh, you know what time it is when you see what's on the screen here. Oh, we got to talk about these children. That's right. I didn't say children like it's spelled on the screen. I said down south southern dialect, cheering. That's right, cheering. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Oh, the mayonnaise community is so mad at me for this. Oh, they so mad at this series. But see, listen, I need to explain some things to the mayonnaise community, okay? You came over here and attempted to troll my channel during Black History Month, and all that trolling stopped. When I started this series, all the mayonnaise trolls just magically went away. But no. See, you getting what you wanted. You wanted my attention during Black History Month. And you know we celebrate Black History year round, as I've said before. So now you're going to get my attention. Oh, yes, I see. I told you. You boy, you should have did your homework on which channel you was messing with. Because I'm going to dig in and I'm going to pull out the dirt that most people in these new Black media spaces will not even talk about. Oh, I'm just getting started on you, Cletus. Oh, I'm just getting started. And look, family, y'all want to know what they was complaining about in my email? Oh, they are so mad and hurt. I'm talking about the alabaster men, the alabastrous women. Oh, they're so mad. Shall I share a bit with you what they was complaining about, family? Shall I share? See, listen, let me clear my throat. They actually don't like the title of the series. Can you believe that? Oh, my goodness. Well, what's wrong with the title? See, listen, let me tell you what I'm going to explain. Because, I don't respond to none of their emails. I don't. I just read them, block them, and laugh. Let me tell you something. The title makes sense, and I'm going to prove it. Y'all know me. I like to prove things when I talk about them on this platform. So I call you children, or as I said earlier, children of the chalk, okay? You shall be that because, family, I want everybody to bear me witness and tell me if I'm telling the truth or not when I say these words to you, when I make this statement. When they commit crimes, okay, your Brock Turners, your Kyle Rittenhouses, aka Kyle Rittenhouses, any one of their people that commit these crimes, they can be grown, big as hell, 30, 40 years old, and what they call them boys, right? They're kids, right? They can be 30-year-old kids. So, hey, you should not have a problem with me calling you children of the chalk. That's what you gonna be. You listen, white supremacists. You said it. I didn't. I'm just going with your label. That's all I'm doing. So you gonna listen, man. Don't be ashamed of the label now, because I'm showing you the other side of what you children of the chalk do. It is what it is. You called yourself children in the media. You've never renounced that. So hey, I'm gonna roll with it. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. That's all I'm doing. So yeah, don't get mad at me. This is your term. Hey, look, I'm just using what you call yourselves. You kids. So children of the chalk, you shall be. Yes, that's what you're gonna be. And tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to cover some of their demented mindsets of their worst serial killers. Because they always tell us black on black crime. 3-2 Tony in the game. You know what I'm saying? The cousin lovers. You know what I'm saying? Like I call them cousin loving. Yeah, well, we got something for you. Yeah, we got something for y'all tonight. We're going to show you about that black on black crime. We're going to talk about their crime. Oh, yeah, because see, with all the crime that we've in the review here tonight, they ain't got no time to be talking about what we do in our community. They got their hands full. See, sometimes you have to remind these people of what I just said. They are the originators of criminality on this land. Look, worldwide. Name a place they've gone historically and hadn't committed any crime. Think about it. Name one place in the world that they've gone and people are like, man, boy, we sure are better off since these white supremacists came over here. You can't find the country. Now, what you will find are some nations where they've gone and colonized the people's minds and physically colonized them, that they've just submitted to defeat and actually call themselves trying to identify as white when they're nowhere near genetically anything close to a Caucasian. You'll find that. But just in general terms, where people are like, ooh, boy, I'm so glad to see you. No. Your history tells on you white supremacists. Oh, children of the chalk, you gonna be even more angry. Because I told you, see, all you had to do was stay out of black folks' business. I'm gonna learn you about that, boy. You gonna learn. Don't come over here when I'm talking to my people. And so you may as well come on back. I know you're gonna be watching because you keep sending me the emails. Family, let me tell you. Yeah, I got to pick on it. Here comes the children of the chalk. It's reverse racist. All the goofy stuff that they think work with other black folks. Listen, let me tell you something. I don't give two wrinkled rat testicles about your damn feelings. When the hell have you ever gave a damn about black people's feelings in America? Huh? When do you do that? You mock the deaths of our innocent, even our babies, like Tamir Rice, okay? Elijah McClain. You mock the deaths of our women like Breonna Taylor, Sandra Bland. You even justified the murder of George Floyd, a man, no matter what he did in his previous life before that fateful day that the murdering race soldier Derek Chauvin knelt on his neck until he killed him. This man was face down on the ground, restrained by 3 other officers in handcuffs with one kneeling on his neck. So I don't want to hear nothing about your feelings. I'm just hitting you with the truth. Oh, see, look, let me tell you something. White supremacists, your problem isn't with me, okay, or any other black person in America. Your problem is with the Most High, because, see, I'm going to tell you how I know that. You claim that you're Christians, most of you, but you have a problem with telling the truth. You've gone out your way to hide the truth by taking the books out of schools and everything. So that's what your problem is with. It's not us. I didn't do you nothing. Listen, it's out of my hands. I can't do nothing to reverse your little dwindling birth numbers. That's on you. You need to stop living on your cousins. I don't know what to tell you. You got a whole bunch of problems with your fentanyl overdosing. Oh, man, boy, boy. I mean, look, you got it rough, Giblet, but that's your problem, because black folks have saved you time and time again. You could have followed our example throughout history and decided to be compassionate people, but you forwent that. Okay, God was trying to tell you something through Black America and global Black society about how to conduct yourselves as human beings, but you rejected that because you are not of his children. So all I'm going to do is just recount to you your history and your present, because your future, well, hey, listen, whatever the Most High decides to pass judgment on you with, that's what it's going to be. And that's just what it's going to be. So, we're going to get into it here tonight. But before we do, ladies and gentlemen, I have a bit of slight housekeeping I want to take care of. I want to mention this, And I want everybody to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Okay. Over here on this platform, reason that I conduct it the way I do, it's an educational platform. It has been ever since it's been up. And we talk about anything that's newsworthy over here, whether it's past, present, or we talk about things that could happen in the future that affect Black America and sometimes the global Black diaspora. We keep things, we have a bit of lightheartedness over here. You find most of that on the YouTube short section. Every now and then we'll crack a joke or two during the stream. But let me say something to some particular individuals, and I'm not going to name their names. I'm just going to let them know I know who you are. It's a clique of people that's running around from inbox to inbox saying a lot of stuff with people's names in them that people have not said. Let me speak for myself because those other brothers and sisters can speak for themselves, but I'm going to speak for GBS. If you don't hear me say it, if I don't say it, then don't put words in my mouth because at that point you'll be making up a lie, okay? And you better be careful when you get the line on me because let me tell you something about me, and y'all go down my archives and you will see that this statement will prove to be true. I don't do beef. Oh no, this will never be a beef channel. If I address something, I'll address it once and then move on. But if you get the line and you commit libel, slander, or defamation of character, I ain't gonna make no video about you. I'll tell you what I will do. I'll show you how money moves. I'm not gonna say a mumbling word. What you will do is get served papers. So I'm just letting you know now. Say whatever you want to say. I don't have a problem with you saying the truth. The minute that you start lying, okay now, don't do that. And let me further add this. Stop assuming that people have beef because things change. Look, I don't have no beef with nobody. Okay, I'm not a beef guy. I don't do that. Okay, beef to me, in my opinion, that's for children. I'm a grown man and I move like a man. That's what my father raised. But y'all got this for the people that it concerns. Stop assuming there's beef because if there is a beef, it's one-sided. I don't know nothing about it. Okay, things change sometimes. People move on and do other things in their lives. Okay, and that doesn't mean it's always a beef. I saw that back to business with the young brother, Marcus. Okay, the brother Marcus Smith, the comedian. People was assuming him and Corey Holcomb had beef. Them brothers ain't got no issue, no problem whatsoever. It's a lot of that going around. Fact of business, there's a knucklehead, and I don't even want to, I ain't going to mention this clown name, but I'm going to clown him coming up in a future stream. There's a knucklehead, every 5 minutes somebody stay falling out with somebody in new Black media over something that when you look at it, you be like, where the hell did you get this foolishness? But I understand it. Everybody want their 5 minutes of fame because not everybody is talented enough or has any value enough to run a platform off of their knowledge or their wit or their talent. So they have to try to make up imaginary beats with other people. Just when I get to that, oh boy, we gonna laugh over here. And the only thing about it is so long, so I got to see how I'm gonna chop down the best parts. Cause boy, we gonna get our clown on when we get ready to do that. But I just wanted to take care of that. I hope everybody's clear on what I said. So without further ado, as usual, let me mind my manners and scroll up here and greet the brothers and sisters that are joining us over here. I hope everybody's having a great weekend so far. I know I am. Oh, yes, I am. Let me see here. I see my good brother Project Leroy in the building. What's going on? Patricia Slade is in here. The good brother Tony, Kevin Blackwell. What's up, Netterbug? Netta J in the house. V Moss being the fabulous legs. Brooklyn Queen 125. Hey, Miss Brooklyn Queen. Hey, listen, I saw one of your sisters. I think that was the Brooklyn area. One of those migrants tried to rob that sister for a purse. Boy, hey, boy. Let me tell you, Margaret, something, boy. Don't do it, boy. The New York sisters, New York, New Jersey, Chicago. Man, all right. That ain't what you want right there. You better leave those sisters alone, boy. They will get down with the get down. They are all the way with the shits, okay? So don't listen to me. You'll find out the hard way. Let's see. I see Two Stay Woke in the building. Sam Ham, what's going on? I love that name, sister. And my apologies for thinking you were a man too at first. And anybody that I do that to, just correct me. Let me know because sometimes I can't tell if it's a man or woman depending on the name. I see my good brother Kevin Josie Jr. in here. James is in here. ATLN _ 007. I see Real Women Don't Do Nonsense. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Only Pamela's Way in here. Patricia Jenkins, the intelligent librarian. I see Stunt Zed in here. My good brother CRU Reality, the computer maker and beat maker genius. Got to brag on your brother. I see Black Spider in here. Ben U Gore G in here. Hope I got that right. Sun Kissed by the Most High is in here. Or TMH is in here. I think that's the Most High. Let me not assume. Sandra Evans is over here. Let's see who else I see. My good brother Lee Holmes is in the building. Food Ophelia in the building. I still believe that sister can cook. That name just say too much. I think she could throw down. She might be hiding this from us, y'all. She don't want to bring chat room snacks. That's what it is. That's what I'm assuming. My good brother Prince of Paraphernalia is in here. The good brother Seven Scales is over here. Tia to you is in the building. Let me see who else I see. The brother Diesel Foster, the good brother Diesel Mike in here. Let's see. Going down. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Jesse Paris, a.k.a. Shane Krumah is in here. Emma Crawford. I see you as well. Superstar Jay Quick in the building. Salute to you all and Sister Rosalind. I see you too. Salute to all of you and everybody else that'll be joining us in attendance here tonight. So now, ladies and gentlemen, now that we got the church announcements out the way, if you will, we got to get into these cheering. Oh, we got to get into these cheering, you know, because like I said, they love to tell us about black on black crime and all of that as if they're just the greatest thing since sliced mayonnaise with a little angry face bread. Well, I'm so sorry there, 3-2 Tony and the rest of you little mayonnaise giblets. I'm going to burst your bubble with some facts over here tonight. I surely am. Everything that you're going to see is going to be your people doing the talking. Now, the only thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pause it here or there to give some commentary, and we're going to point out a lot of this hypocrisy. Plus, I want to help my people understand your degenerate, deranged mindset because, family, let me tell you something. These jokers are demons. They have lost their last single-cell chromosome mind. See, that's what all that cousin living gets you. So without further ado, let me turn the voice off, man. Y'all know I had to hit him with that old school Robert E. Lee down south Confederate twang. You know, it's not a twang, it's a twang. You got to say it like that. That's right. Put some red on that neck. Anyway, family, I'm gonna play this, and you know, I'm trying to joke a little bit here because what you're gonna hear is actually gonna be quite disturbing. And I mean, it's just a reminder for those of you, and let me say this before we start. For those of you that are black immigrants that don't really know the game when you come over here, the first thing you want to do is try to run over to their communities and run get you a white man, white woman. You better pay attention to this because this is what they are, this is what they have been, and this is what the American justice system looks the other way on until it gets so bad. Hey, you thought Jeffrey Dahmer was bad. Just wait till you see what we're going to play here tonight. Let's get started.
A person said one time, he said, that's a horrible way of dying. I said, what is a good way? Could you tell me what a good way is to die?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at 20 disturbing interviews with serial killers before being executed.
Do you think you're a hero to those hate groups?
Well, that's what they tell me, you know.
For this list, we're analyzing the most bizarre and harrowing discussions with famous killers before they died or were supposed to be put to death. If they weren't actually executed, they could still be eligible as long as they were sentenced to be. Which of these unnerved you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Michael Bruce Ross. Over the course of 3 years in the early 1980s, Michael Bruce Ross claimed the lives of 8 girls and women in Connecticut and New York. Ross had endured a troubled childhood and began his vicious crime spree in his senior year of college.
I just felt like I was right on the edge and like it was just going to be, it wouldn't take much to push me over. And it was very frightening back then. I'm not like that now. I'm just such a lovable guy now.
After he was captured in 1984, Ross confessed to all 8 murders and was sentenced to death in Connecticut. In an interview given while awaiting execution, the roadside strangler, as he came to be known, casually recounted his heinous crimes.
It was 3:30 in the afternoon on a fairly well-driven road. She was walking along the side of the road, and I just stopped the car, got out of the car.
At one point, he even bragged about the strength with which he strangled his victims.
It was an insane strength or something, and because I got a kick out of it because the prosecutor, I knew, had no idea that was coming.
Ross was...
Oh, I got to pause it right here. Okay, so let's just deal with something right off the bat, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I can't stand? I guarantee you, everybody that's listened to this live and everybody that will come back and listen to it on the playback, everybody in some extent had to deal with some type of hardship as a childhood. Some people might not have had the most favorable childhoods, okay? But they don't grow up to be no damn serial killers. And see, I want you to take note of the sick way in which he said that, talking about how much strength he used to strangle his victim. See, you think about it. Let me break this down and explain something about why these people take the course of actions that they take as far as becoming serial killers and a lot of other criminality that they have. When you are in a system of white supremacy, whether it's in America or globally, okay, and you're at the top of the food chain, you get all types of unearned benefits and privileges. Think about it this way. If you give a child things that they don't earn and you never at all make them earn anything, I'm not talking about an occasional gift here or there. I'm talking about you just spoil them. They don't have to appreciate nothing, no matter how disrespectful they are. They don't have to do well in school. They don't have to respect their elders. They don't have to respect you, the parents. You just give them everything. Do you think that turns a person into a upstanding, well-rounded, respectable adult? Do you think that's what they're going to grow up to be? Because, see, the correlation that I'm making here is this. When you have these white supremacists in this system that gives them everything that they don't earn, and they never have to experience hardship because they're always profiting and making it off the backs and the labor and the ideas of other people, well, the minute that they have to do for themselves or they experience any small fraction of hardship, they lose their minds. See, you really look, the average black person, you can't really understand that because we don't live in that world. And the reason that I understand it is because, you know me, I study these people. I know them better than they know themselves in a lot of different instances. I really do. I really do. All you have to do is go down the archives of my work here over the years on this channel and see, here's the thing. What I just said, that's far too common in their community. That's the entire reason why when they do something in the justice system, they give the most heinous of them slaps on the wrist. Some of them you're going to hear about here tonight, until they end up slaughtering scores of them in their community, even their children. So I want you to pay attention particularly to the excuses made by all of them here that you're going to hear tonight and their demeanor. And I also want to point out this to you, okay? Because I like for my audience to catch certain things that the average person doesn't catch. Pay attention to the tone of the narrators and the interviewers that are talking to these people, and you see if you pick up on a sense of reverence that they almost have for them, okay? That's going to be very important what we're reviewing here tonight. Let's let it continue.
Executed in 2005, the last person to face that penalty in the state of Connecticut.
For some of us, death is not a punishment.
Edward Wayne Edwards. Right from his childhood, Edward Wayne Edwards lived a life of crime, even once appearing on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list.
It was a female who identifies herself as April. She said, "I think my dad could be responsible for Tim and Kelly. I think he killed them." And she said his name is Edward Wayne Edwards.
Edwards began killing after being granted parole in 1967 and was responsible for at least 5 deaths.
There were some cigarettes in the bottom of the duffel bag. I said, "You go ahead and get them out."
Edwards lived as a free man for decades before being arrested in 2009 and sentenced to life imprisonment for his crimes.
I felt bad, but apparently not bad enough that I kept from doing it.
Seeking a quick punishment, Edwards sat for an interview with the Associated Press, during which he confessed to killing his foster son, Danny Boy Edwards, for a life insurance payout.
He was stealing from my children, and I'm very close to my family in that respect. And so I just let my mind, I'm not new to crime.
In 2011, Edwards was handed the death penalty for Danny's murder. However, he died of natural causes just 1 month later. Bobby Joe Long.
Now, let's pause it, right? You heard what that one right there just said. I can understand if you find out something like that, you would be angry. You would definitely be angry. Somebody stealing from your kids. But you killed them behind it? And see, this is why that makes no sense for them. You're a white man in a system of white supremacy. You could have easily taken him to court and dealt with that and got all kinds of restitution. Nope, not him though, because see, Again, I have to say this. All this black on black crime, I want you to pay close attention to one thing in this presentation tonight that's going to completely debunk that. Many other people have said it, but I'm going to say it yet again here tonight. There's no such thing as black on black crime or any color crime. Crime is committed by proximity and to where you live, okay? You'll notice that all of these victims here that they're going to talk about, they ain't black folks, they're white. They kill where they live, okay, for the most part, until they start coming to where we are, like the Buffalo Killer, you know, your Peyton Gendrons and all the rest of them, the Dylan Roofs. But more ordinarily, people kill where they live or commit crime where they live. So that already just debunks that foolishness right off the bat. But I want y'all to listen to the rest of them because, see, the stuff that they did here, let me tell you something, man. Usually, and I'm not making an excuse for murderers one way or another, but usually when you hear about black people getting into it with somebody over there, it's usually a specific individual for a specific reason. These people just get fed up with life and just get to killing. You understand? See, look, let me tell you something. Unfortunately, with the way society has gone in America, I caution black parents to train your children. When it comes to our culture, you know, roasting is a part of that. We clown and roast each other. Even though this is the most integrated generation ever, okay, as far as the children that's in school now, what you have to remind your black children of is like, listen, little Billy, little Connor, y'all might be cool, but you can't do that with him. Because, see, the minute that you hit him with a name and that name lasts for a week or so, you never know when little Connor or little Billy going to come back and shoot the school up. You understand? So now just keep the roasting in our community. That's the smart thing to do. You know, if I had children, that's what I would advise them to do. Nah, leave them alone. You know what I'm saying? Nah, unless they come starting with you. But for the most part, they can't take it. They're too fragile. And see, I'm going to say something else is going to make the mayonnaise supremacist mad. Oh, yeah, because I've said it many times. I'm going to stand on this. I will never rescind this statement that I'm about to make. I don't consider any of the alabaster men real men, and I'm going to tell you why. Because look, let's just call it what it is. See, I got to wake my people up because, see, a lot of us really let them slide with a lot of things as if they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Let's get real for a second before we get back to this. I don't consider them men on the same level as black men because think about it. What have they gone through that we've gone through? See, when it comes to our history, have you ever just stopped to think about that, family? And I'm going to say it for the women, too. I don't consider their women real women because what have they gone through that black women have had to endure? You stop and think about our histories in this country. We on the same land, okay, in the same place, but we have two completely different, diametrically opposed realities in this country. They don't know anything about having to make $1 out of 15 cents. They don't know anything about having to improvise when certain things don't go their way. They just immediately panic and freak out and start looking for somebody to victimize. Black folks, we figure out how to make a way out of no way. We've been known for that. That's one reason why the foundational Black American freedom spirit, or as my good brother Tariq Nasheed calls it, the Mojara spirit, is renowned and revered worldwide. Okay, worldwide, we are respected. Because, see, when people look at what we've gone through, they be like, man, those people, boy, they're cut from a different cloth. I'm telling you, family, see, for those of you that don't really travel like that, that's one reason why I always encourage travel. I always tell you that travel is the best education you can get, because when you start to move around, you will see how much respect you get outside of the country, okay? I'm telling you, that will blow your mind. Y'all just get to the point where you can start moving around a little bit, just going to different places, different countries. You'll see how much you respect and how much people respect our history. That's why they want to copy everything we do, not just hip hop, everything. Look, let me tell you something. I'm going to prepare those of you that don't really travel like that for something that's going to take you back. If you go somewhere and they recognize that you're a Black American, and see, this is one reason some of the tellers have a bug in their ass, but I just got to call it what it is. When they recognize that you're a Black American by the way you speak, the way you dress, and yes, other groups can't tell, they damn near treat you like a celebrity in certain places. Seriously. Okay, now I'm not saying that there is no anti-Black racism in these other places. What I am saying is when they find out that you're a foundational Black American, okay, or African American, whatever they want to refer to you as a Black American, They really want to know about your experience here in this country. They start asking you about a lot of stuff. You be like, man, we like, for example, they might ask you about Barack Obama. Now, most of us with sense in our head, we don't really rock with him. And you have to explain to them that, look, the community is split on that. You got some people that are diehard Democrats that respect him. Then there are those of us that look at what he did not do for black people and what he did against black people. So, you know, there are those things that would kind of take you back a little bit. You're like, wow, why are they so interested in us? So that's something you have to prepare yourself for when you leave the shores of the United States. But one of the things that I've always noticed, though, and like I said, don't take my word for it, just start traveling and moving around. One thing that I've noticed, we get a much warmer welcome in these other areas than them folks do a lot of times. See, their own people don't even trust each other outside of here. You know how they always used to tell us, why don't you go back to Africa? You don't like America. Why don't they go back to Europe? See, what you'll find is if you go to the UK, parts of Europe or whatever, even Spain, they don't trust each other like that. They really don't. That's why a lot of them don't just up and go back to white conda. Okay, yeah, that's right. We're going to call it white conda. Because they really not, if you really want to get technical, they're not indigenous to Europe either, but that's a whole nother can of worms for another day. They don't want to go back to white conda or where their people at. No, because they know the dirt that each other do historically. And see, the one thing that I've noticed too, children receive us a lot better than they do them folks. They really do. Because see, once you have a reputation, and I got to go here, everybody know how them freaky deaky Catholic priests get down. Oh yeah, we all know. I got to go here with it. So now when you got so many of them running around talking about air quotes missionary work, yeah, a lot of that missionary work lead to molesting people's children. Worldwide, black folks, particularly foundational Black American, they know we don't play that about nobody's children. Okay? They know that. That's not just known for us here. That's known outside of this country. We don't tolerate that. We don't have no open pedophile culture. Okay? So I'm just speaking on a lot of different things about how we're respected outside of this country versus how the white supremacists try to treat us here. Okay? So what we about to get into now, though, we gonna pull back some of this white on white crime. That they like to say black on black crime. No, you need to worry about this white on white crime. Because see, this mindset with these serial killers is pervasive, and you have to recognize this. That's why I'm showing this to you tonight, because I want you to recognize some of these personality defects they're gonna have, certain way they speak. Start looking at how they dress. I want you to dissect all of this as we review this here tonight, because see, some of this, it might put you up on something. For the most part, we don't trust them like that. But you just may recognize something where you be like, man, you know what? Something ain't right about this joke, okay? So use all of this to your advantage and study every part of it. Let's let it continue.
For more than 3 decades, Bobby Joe Long sat on death row in Florida before he was executed in 2019. Long was not only a serial killer with at least 10 victims to his name, he was also a serial predator, having assaulted more than 50 women in around 3 years.
As soon as I opened my eyes from being asleep, that's what I was thinking about. That didn't let up until I did it.
He was arrested in November 1984 after one of his victims, Lisa McVeigh, led the authorities to him. Long claims in this interview with Miami's WPLG that his compulsions were triggered by a motorcycle accident that left him with head injuries.
The first time I did it, I couldn't really believe I did it.
With a piercing stare and a creepy half smile, he talks about being an average Joe who just happened to go off the edge every once in a while.
Probably 99.9% of the time, I'm as normal as he is or anybody else is. But there's that 1% of the time.
Andre Chikatilo.
He was in a...
Now, see, notice what they keep trying to do, because again, this is going to be a reoccurring theme when they have to talk about their people's dirt. They keep trying to give them an out. Notice with him, oh, it was a motorcycle accident and a head injury made me do it. No, there's plenty of people that get head injuries that don't turn out to be no damn raving lunatic serial killer. That's what you were. See, they have such a hard time just confronting the truth about themselves, even though they have myriads worth of history to prove that this is what your people do. There's a reason why the United Kingdom, okay, went around half the globe conquering things like that. See, you can't find that history with no group of black people on the planet. Wherever we went, We didn't subjugate and enslave people like that and murder people and do the things that they did to people all around the world. We didn't do none of that stuff. They are unique in that, and they don't want to claim that. That's why they're trying to hide their history now. But see, I got news for you. You can burn all the books. You can ban all the TikToks all you want. One thing you cannot ban is the will of the Most High. This truth is going to be told, and this is the year of truth going forward. Things will never be the same for you again. Your judgment is here. It's going to be cast upon you. You've had plenty of time to reform your ways. White supremacists, not talking about all white people, talking about your white supremacists. And I am addressing the white people that sit there and look the other way on that. You got some decisions to make. See, never mind a black man or black woman or anybody talking to you. If I were you, what I would do, I would take a look at what's happening to my community. You really think all that's a coincidence, what's happening with you right now and what's happening with not only just America, but all these majority white-run nations around the world? Look at what's happening to you. Black people ain't got nothing to do with that. That's between you and the Most High. Let's let it continue.
Large iron cage in the courtroom. The cage was to protect him from the rage of the parents of the victims.
One of the most infamous killers in Soviet history, Andrei Chikatilo terrorized the Rostov Oblast in Soviet Russia between 1978 and 1990. Chikatilo claimed to have taken the lives of 56 people and was convicted of 52 murders. Referred to as the Butcher of Rostov, Chikatilo was known for his erratic behavior in court, but appeared a lot more restrained in this interview he granted before his execution. He rambles on about his troubled childhood and growing up during the Great Famine of the early 1930s in Soviet Ukraine.
Как раз все мое детство пришло, это на военные, на голодные годы, так что мы там только лишь бы пухлые ходили, лежали бы выжить, какие там была.
When asked about the afterlife, Chikatilo brushes it off and expresses his readiness for whatever comes next.
Все это я считаю, что все это меня не касается, как-то все это прошло мимо моего сознания, все это не задумываюсь. Вот о муках своих я.
Perhaps most disturbing was his past desire to become a dictator from as early as the 9th grade.
Now, let me pause it right there because, see, I got to touch on something very important because, see, we're breaking down this sick, demented mindset that they have, and it's going to make a lot of sense about why they do the things they do. He said he wanted to become a dictator since the 9th grade. See, that goes to show you that that white supremacist system, that starts in the home. Oh, yes, it all starts at home. See, I need Larry Elder and oh, don't worry, I'm going to get on Candace Owens soon. Oh, it's coming. Everybody having their say about it. But what I'm going to put together, I'm going to thread a whole bunch of needles with that. So be patient. It's coming. But see, here's the thing. Larry Elder and Candace, I need you to talk to them about the fatherlessness in their home. And, you know, I need you to talk to them about the drug usage and all the crime and, you know, the incest and stuff in their community, just like you talk to black folks. Because, see, regardless of all the problems that black folks have, we don't have a culture of a bunch of serial killers. We have one here or there for every one black serial killer you may find. It's 30 more white folks, okay? White supremacists. Yeah, we gonna go there with it. And see, the good brother Diesel Mike asked a great question in the chat room. Oh, we got to take time to address this. Great question. Brother Diesel Mike said, what is it about these weirdos and attacking women? They seem to attack them more than men. Oh, good brother, I'm glad you asked that question because I definitely have an answer. And I want all of y'all to take to heart the answer I'm about to give to this brother's question because that's very important. And I encourage anybody to ask questions in the chat room tonight. And I'll give you the answer and you compare and see if it's something that you can agree with or do research on and see if it leads you to agree with what I'm about to say. Good brother and ladies and gentlemen in the chat room, the reason why they have a sick compulsion towards hurting women, particularly their own, let me tell you something. In the mind of these sick, demented serial killers, and in case you wonder, you say, well, GBS, how do you know this? See, I read and study a lot of their history. This is how I know how they think in present day and some of the things that they're going to do in the future. The reason why they take that out on their women, they look at their women as niggers. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, I want you to hear me out. Listen to what I'm telling you. They a lot of times practice on their women before they try to move on to a black person. If they can't get their hands on a black person, they start fantasizing in their head that their own women are the niggers. I know that's a sick, demonic, twisted thing, but I'm telling you, there are historical accounts of them admitting this. Oh, yes, I will post receipts on the community tab wall if y'all want me to. See, let me tell you. Read the book, The Delectable Negro by Vincent K. Woodward, okay? Vincent Woodward. Read that book. You'll study a lot of that sick, deranged mentality, what they inflicted, things they inflicted on our ancestors. This ties right into this, okay? See, you got to understand something. These are the ones that got caught. I got to drop a heavy load on you, and this is one that concerns me the most. You have those with this serial killer mentality. Some of them don't get caught. And the most concerning thing for me are the ones that go into the medical industry. You heard what I said. I'm going to go here. The Democrats are always running their mouth about, oh, the black infant mortality rate, oh, black mothers and infant mortality rate. Okay. Well, then why is it that you don't address that? That's the only group of women that have infant mortality rates that high. See, it would be one thing if all groups of women had that infant mortality rate that high. It would be everybody would just be like, okay, that's a risk that you take if you're having a child. That's not the way it is. So I'm going to tell you right now, you got serial killers in the medical profession. Yes, you do. You have to. And you think how evil and demonic you would have to be to bring harm to a baby that hadn't even started living yet, trying to come into the world. See, when I tell you that the Most High has condemned these white supremacists, all you got to do is look at their works. Their own works condemn them. And they know what I'm saying is the truth. There's no way around that. How is it that that rate is going to be that high for that group of our women and no other women go through that at all? Yeah, tell me that's not deliberate. But that's okay. I'm going to help my people understand that sick mindset. So I thank you for that question, my good brother Diesel Mike. That's exactly what they think about. They look at their women and fantasize. See, watch this. I'm going to tie another needle here. I'm going to thread another needle here before I let this play. Everybody familiar with Jake Paul, right? I'm going to show you something about how a sick white supremacist mind works, okay? Everybody familiar with Jake Paul, right? Now, I'm never going to show this clip on my channel. You can find it. It's out there. How many of y'all remember, because I first saw this on X and didn't want to see it. It was just on the timeline. Remember on X when he had that dildo, and it was a black one in the shape of a black man's phallus, and he's sitting on there punching the dildo. Now, when you tie in that homoerotic obsession that a lot of them have with us, like I said, you'll see that in the book, The Delectable Negro. You can see it with the homoerotic obsession that white dude had with Terry Crews when he grabbed his junk in front of his wife, and Jake Paul with that instance, because there's many more. They always have this sick obsession with us on the brain. It's either homoerotic or violent all the time, which is why we try to tell those in the tether class, just because you land up with a white man or a white woman, that doesn't mean that you special. They had access to our ancestors on the plantation. Did that make them say, oh my God, boy, I done laid up with this black man or this black woman. Let's just let all the niggers go and just end slavery. That's not what happened. You got Proud Boys in the present era that have black wives. A lot of them are tethers, but they have them. I have black children. So I want to say that particularly to the tether class. So ladies and gentlemen, like I said, you're going to get a thorough education on how demented their minds work here. I want you to listen to this little peanut head demonic murderer here talking about his delusions of grandeur, wanting to be a damn dictator in the 9th grade. It's ridiculous. Can't make it up.
Еще с 9 класса, когда Сталин умер, я уже готов был принять от Сталина это все, это самое наследство, быть генсеком этой партии, это все, мировое коммунистическое движение.
Danny Rolling. Like some of the other individuals on this list, Danny Rolling was the product of a sadistic upbringing. In his adulthood, Rolling became a serial killer, murdering 3 people in his hometown of Shreveport, Louisiana, and 5 others in the student community of Gainesville, Florida. In 2004, Rolling appeared in this episode of the Canadian true crime TV show Forensic Factor.
I let the evil in, and the evil just took over. And it was like when the sun would go down, I couldn't resist it.
Rolling seems to express some remorse for his crimes and concedes that he deserves to die. But his demeanor throughout the interview appears to be that of someone needing to be the center of attention.
When the morning would come up, it was just like I would hate myself. It was like, my God, what have I become?
That comes as no surprise, as he previously admitted his desire to be a well-known criminal, like fellow serial killer Ted Bundy.
I don't even know how much longer I'm gonna be on this earth. But when I die, I hope I'm ready. I hope I die half as bravely as the people who perished at my hand.
Peter Curtin.
Salute to the good brother Project Leroy for the cash out. Thank you very much, my brother. See, family, let me say this about them, okay? Because you hear how sick these degenerate demons are. He talking about he let the evil in as if that's just something that happened. No, that's not how that works. Evil has no root in a human soul unless there's something for it to bind to. You hear me? I'm not talking about a moment of anger or something that makes you understandably angry in a righteous sense. I'm talking about evil only tilts on to a human spirit if there's something in there that wants to embrace it. You understand me? See, you better, but look, and for those that don't believe in the Most High, anything, that's okay. Just listen to what I'm saying, all right? Think about the devil, all right? As we know it today. The devil can't make you do anything. All the devil can do is put temptation before you, and it's up to you to give in to that temptation or not. You can reject that. Now, when you start to succumb to evil, like a lot of these demonic alabaster men here that we're going to review here tonight, these serial killers, there has to be something in you that wants to invite that in. And see, I'm going to tell you why they have more of a problem than looking at black folks. See, when you compare our two races, okay, globally, okay, not just here, but globally, black people around the world have a documented history of being overly welcoming. As Dr. John Henry Clark said, that's a part of our beautiful humanity, which is a double-edged sword. We're welcoming. We see you down bad, you ain't got no food. Hey, come on over here. We got food. We'll feed you. Even if it's not much, hey, we'll share what we have. Oh, you sick? Hey, we got medicine. We'll heal you. Look, without us going to Europe, they would have died of several plagues over and over again. We civilized them, taught them how to eat a proper course meal. The actual common sense art of dunking your behind in some water and cleaning yourself, okay? We taught them so much over centuries. Civilized these people, okay? Tried to the best of our ability. But then when you compare their history, they have the opposite history. They call stealing and murder conquest. You think about it. When you think about the word conquest, what is that? You taking something from someone that doesn't belong to you and you're murdering them to do it. So you give it a word, you call it conquest. Huh? Think about it, family. Everything that they've ever gotten that they have today, you've stolen it from other people. You keep bragging about these high IQs. Well, this is where you nail that high IQ, lie straight to the ground. If you got such a high IQ, think about it. Let's really put this to bed before we get back into examining the deranged serial killers over here. If you have such a high IQ, let's really analyze that statement. A high IQ group of people would not steal and murder. They would not do that. No, a high IQ group of people would be a group of people who would be advanced in medicine, technology, architecture, the arts, mathematics. You would build wondrous things that nobody would be able to understand. And when you come around people, because you have a high IQ, you would be more inclined to educate, enlighten, and share with people versus steal, rob, rape, and kill. That's not what high IQ people do, okay? So when you hear them making that argument, there it is right there. And all you got to do is look at their history that correlates with present day to debunk any claim they have to high IQs. Because see, here's the ultimate killer. A high IQ group of people doesn't need to enslave other people to do work for them. You don't. You're a high IQ, hard-working person. Why would you need to enslave someone? Yeah, see, that's why they don't like this channel. Oh, but trust me, alabasters, you ain't seen nothing yet. If you think what we reviewing here tonight is bad, all the rest of these Children of the Chalk series I got coming up, you ain't seen nothing yet. We just scratched the tip of the iceberg. Let's let it continue.
In the early 20th century, Peter Kilton reigned terror on the German city of Dusseldorf, assaulting and killing at least 9 people. He was known as the Vampire of Dusseldorf due to his disturbing fascination with blood. After his arrest in May of 1930, Kilton was analyzed by psychiatrist Dr. Carl Berg over a series of interviews. The infamous killer claimed that although there was a sexual nature to his crimes, he was primarily motivated by the sight of blood. He also stated that the very act of attacking his victims brought him intense relief. Just before his execution by guillotine, Kilton asked his psychiatrist if he would be able to hear the sound of his own blood gushing out after his decapitation. Tommy Lynn Sells. California-born Tommy Lynn Sells claims to have committed over 70 murders. If true, that would make him one of the most prolific serial killers in U.S. history.
Every time I did it, it was that rush again, and I started chasing that high.
Despite his claims, Sells was convicted of only 1 murder and sentenced to die in September of 2000. In a jailhouse interview with Martin Bashir for ABC's Nightline, Sells described himself as an emotionless person. And that comes across quite clearly in the recorded clip.
When you look at me, you know what hate is. 'Cause I don't know what love is.
With no remorse whatsoever, he recounted his killings.
Salute to the good sister Sam Ham for the cash app. Now, I'm going to pause it right here because, see, I got to take time to break something else down. And I encourage all of you to do this for me, okay? Because I'm presenting this content over here for you tonight to actually learn this, but this is something I think all Black people should have on their shelves. You should get a copy of the DSM-5, okay? Get a copy of the DSM-5, okay? The Psychiatric Diagnosis Manual. And you should look at a lot of their different behaviors from history to present day. Now, I want you to take a good look at this big chunky head demon here in his eyes. I want you to look at him because he's not lying. See, I'm going to go here with it. This is going to offend them even more, but I don't care about that. I got to tell the truth because you can see what I'm about to say. There's a family. Have you ever wondered why? And we joke about it all the time about them not having any rhythm when it comes to dancing. Okay. Very few of them have any type of rhythm when it comes to dancing. But see, there's a reason for that. Let me go here. Okay. The reason why we are a rhythmic people, we're in tune with the natural energy of this planet. We're in tune with the natural spirit of the Most High. That means that we have a vibrance to us. This is why we act the way we act as a people and have the customs that we have as a people, really worldwide, but especially foundational Black American freedmen. Okay. We have a flavor and a zest and appreciation for living. This is why they're always trying to be around us. You know why? Because, see, he's not the only one. The greater majority of his people are basically walking around as empty shells. In case you think, oh, my God, GBS, that's a horrible statement to make you generalizing. Oh, no, I'm going to quantify this. I want you to look at how many of them that you've seen over the years that are very wealthy, extremely wealthy, beyond what most of us would ever even see in our lifetime. And they're still unhappy and they're going to commit gruesome crimes and murders. Huh? Do you know why those people do that? Because they're not connected to what life really is. They're shells of what real living beings are. They really are. They're devoid of compassion, just like him. He's not lying about what he's saying. See, it's one thing to experience something and have natural human emotions about it. It's another altogether when you want to go and take that out on a group of people that don't have nothing to do with what happened to you. See, I'm giving you something to really think about when they start coming around us. And I'm saying this particularly to the young people. I want you to think, don't let these people make you feel some type of way with all that goofiness that because they're basically trolling because they on their way out. That's really what it is. I mean, instead of them trying to repent, they're proving how evil and demonic they are. And I got news for you, white supremacists. The more that you call yourself trying to harass or practice white supremacy and anti-Black racism against Black people, you further condemning your sentence. You further condemning what the Most High got in store for you. We have a merciful God. If you repent and change your wicked ways and turn around, hey, he just may decide to show you grace and mercy. But see, you proving that that's not what you're going to do. The audacity to have in God we trust on this money. Really? I don't know which God that is. It's not the same one that I serve. It's not the same one that I pray to. It can't be. And I'm going to prove that too. In case a lot of y'all, oh, you reaching it, especially you white supremacists. Oh, you saying that for? I'm going to tell you why I'm saying it. Because once again, history backs up everything I'm saying. Family, don't y'all understand that these people, before they lynched our ancestors, they gathered in churches and actually held service to do that? Now, just the basic 10 commandments. Thou shalt not kill or steal. You gathered in a place that's supposed to be the house of the Lord, and then you went, and you can see the pictures today. And then you went and gathered in crowds of hundreds to lynch an innocent black person. Nah, you're not serving the God I'm serving. You serving Satan. That's who you serving. Let's let it continue.
Detailing the rush he got from taking innocent lives. It's a rare glimpse into the mind of a heartless killer, and one capable of sending chills down any spine.
Why would that happen?
I didn't want him to live through the pain I lived through.
Angel Maturino Resendiz. Dubbed the Railroad Killer, Angel Maturino Resendiz was known to illegally hop trains as he traveled across the U.S. He would then invade homes close to the railroads, rob them, and murder the occupants.
This offender, unlike a lot of others, spent an incredible amount of time in that house going through everything.
In total.
Now, let me pause this in this particular crime, because this is something that I speak about often, and I'm going to have some content coming up where I'm going to further drill down on it about this current illegal alien migrant crisis that we have going on. Let me say this primarily to black men, and I'm talking to black women that live alone as well, okay? Because I understand everybody's situation is different. I've said this many times, and I tell you that, yes, I'm a black man in America, okay? I like to enjoy the finer things in life. I've been blessed to live a very decent, great life. But one of the things that I spend the most money on, just like the United States government, is defense, okay? Listen, outside of my necessities, taking care of regular bills, I spend the greater majority of what I have on defense, making sure my homes are secure. If you're a black man, especially, or a black person in America that doesn't have some type of security system on your home or a way to defend your home, what are you waiting on? You better take care of that now, okay? Because these illegal aliens that's coming up here, if you think they're bold enough to run up on them folks, and they showing them, they really wasn't expecting them to start targeting them. But they ain't got no problem trying to target you, especially your children. Because I'm going to say this again. And when I let this crime go on here, this is a reminder, watch your black babies. You are their first line of defense. Don't you have your children running around out here unsupervised with this crisis that we got going on in this country because it's incompetent, jackass president, Jim Crow Joe Biden. You are the security, okay? You make sure that if you have properties like I do, because I'm going to cover that too. You've heard a lot of us talking about it in new black media spaces. Oh, they've gotten hip to the game about squatter laws. So they're trying to go in places that are not attended and squat in them. And then you got catch hell trying to legally get them out. First of all, you're not even supposed to legally be in the country. Second of all, if you break into my home, breaking and entering without permission, they should just go ahead and arrest your ass. But no, not according to Jim Crow Joe. So the way to prevent that, make sure you got a decent security system on your home. So that way that alerts them folks, they can go ahead and scoop their asses up. Don't let these folks get into your properties if those of you that have multiple properties like I do, okay? I secure both of mine, all right? Now, I'm not away from either of mine long enough for nobody to be trying to squat in no way, but then I got family that help me watch out for that too, okay? So good luck trying that. And see, I'm going to tell you right now, one thing that needs to be amended with these goofy squatter laws, and I've said this about a lot of laws in America, it needs to be updated to fit modern day society. First of all, see, this is where we need our black legal class, and I'm saying black because I'm worried about our community over any others. How you going to have a squatter law, but at the same time have the castle doctrine? You see the conflict here legally. See, we need to get our legal eagles challenging this stuff, man, and go ahead and get that struck down in the legislative branch. That's something else that needs to go. Because, see, before we get back to them children of the chalk over here, I got to say this because I'm going to cover this in some upcoming content, but I'm going to touch on it now. Once we get this migrant thing under control, this illegal alien thing under control, we need to go into say, okay, cool. It's just because chances are Trump is going to win. Just going to call it what it is. Chances are he is. If he get in there, everybody need to be pushed and say, okay, cool. Getting it under control, deporting them. Need to make sure this can never happen again. Let's get this legislation changed permanently. And I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people don't like it when I say this. One of the number one things that I want to see go, besides, these goofy squatter laws and stuff that they have, the archaic laws, that whole, you come over here and pop out a baby on American soil and it's a citizen, oh, no, that needs to go. No more of that. That needs to be repealed. I'm sorry, that's got to go. No. They doing too much. See, they've studied the game before they come up here, and they've seen not only the weakness at their border, I got to give it to them. They've done their homework about what they can get because they're being invited up here by the corporations, and the politicians are getting kickbacks from the corporations. We already broke that down, but see, I'm going to cover that in some upcoming content. But my point is, make sure that you secure your homes because like they're discussing about this degenerate right here, he was hopping on trains, going from place to place, murdering people and using the train as a damn escape route. Let's let it continue.
Authorities believe Resendiz killed at least 15 people in this manner. His calm and reserved behavior throughout this interview with renowned journalist Jacqueline Cacho heavily contrasts the vicious nature of his crimes. Given entirely in Spanish, Resendiz doesn't necessarily go into explicit detail about the murders in this interview. Instead, he seemingly alludes to the motivation behind them. Although he described himself as an eternal being who was incapable of dying, Resendiz was executed by lethal injection on June 27, 2006. Earl Forrest. Back in December 2002, a drug dispute between longtime friends Earl Forrest and Harriet Smith resulted in the former murdering the latter in her home.
I asked her, all I wanted was a lawnmower. She said, Earl, I'll get you a lawnmower. I felt like I was being lied to.
Forrest also killed another friend of theirs, Michael Wells, who was visiting Smith at the time, as well as a deputy sheriff during a police shootout afterwards.
Why'd you shoot him?
I don't know. She looked at me funny, I guess.
For his crimes.
Did you hear this demon? He killed this woman over drugs and her looking at him funny. Let me tell you something, man. We got issues and problems in our community, but black folks don't do it like that, man. Not on average. You got knuckleheads here or there, but for the average, ain't asking why you do it. I don't know, man. Boy, don't you ever say nothing else about no black on black crime.
He was put to death by lethal injection on May 11th, 2016. The first season of the A&E docuseries The Killer Speaks features an interview with Forrest, who is completely devoid of any remorse.
Did you feel bad?
I don't know what I felt.
Instead, he puts the responsibility of his actions on Smith for not fulfilling a promise she made him. Watching the clip, you'd think he was the victim of the crime.
I did something for her. She was supposed to do something for me. Why did she, have to put us both in that position?
Joseph.
You see how sick they are? Remember what I told you about being in an entitled society, a system of white supremacy that gives you things that you don't earn, where you run around thinking that the world owes you something? See, think about it. Most black crackheads, the most they're going to do is steal something. That's the most they're going to do, okay? Them folks on they variety of drugs that they doing, oh, they willing to kill and die for that. So now you would think that this knucklehead, and whatever drug-induced haze or fugue that he was in, would have reasoned to itself and said, you know what? If the only thing in the world I care about is getting high, if I kill this woman, I ain't going to be able to get high like I want to. So let me just go steal something or do whatever and get whatever drug I was going to get. Now, you heard him. She should have done me a favor, not recognizing anything that he did that's wrong. And see, this is the other thing that I want to point out to you about that demented mindset, because that's what we're analyzing over here tonight. If they think that way about their own people, how much less do you think they think about us in the same type of fashion? Huh? Notice this was another crime against a woman again, like the brother Diesel Mike pointed out earlier. You understand? See, if they'll think like that about their own, you know how it is when it comes to us. I just want y'all to bear that in mind. Let's let it continue.
Paul Franklin. Joseph Paul Franklin was a notorious serial killer and white supremacist who is believed to have been responsible for at least 20 murders.
I mean, I can't go back and think about the cases, individually. I have too much other problems, too much other things I have to focus on.
Franklin mostly targeted interracial couples, African Americans, and Jewish people in his attacks. He also famously shot adult magazine publisher Larry Flynt in March 1978. Although this interview Franklin granted to CNN before his 2013 execution provides little information about his depraved crimes, it gives some insight into his state of mind.
And what was your mission?
Well, to try to get a race war started.
At the time of the murders, he genuinely believed that he was doing the will of God.
As misguided as I was doing the will of God, you know.
Remember what I told you about them thinking that they serve God, but that is not the one that you and I know. Oh, you serving a God, all right, the lowercase g one, the one in the scripture said that's in charge of this entire inhabited earth right now. Satan, that's who you serving. Notice what they saying about him. He was running around targeting interracial couples, okay? Trying to get a race war started. And the race war has already begun. It began the minute that these white supremacists invaded our land and enslaved our people. That race war has already been going on. See, this jackass like this, though, don't be fooled. Both sides, both liberal and conservative, these are the ones that they'll support. See, this is what our young black people have to understand. Just because we think about the 2020 uprising, George Floyd protests, et cetera, they'll sit around and march around with signs with you all day long. Because really, to be honest with you, they just need something to do to get out the house during the pandemic. That's really what that was all about. But they'll sit there and march around with you with signs and then turn right around and support somebody like this getting off the hook or contribute to their GoFundMe, just like they're doing with Kyle Rittenhouse. Don't be fooled. Liberals and conservatives are supporting Kyle Rittenhouse and the rest of them, okay? The Daniel Penny's out here, cowardly, degenerate maggot that he is, sneaking up behind a homeless black man and choking him to death. Oh, boy, I'm going to tell you, when I think about that, had that been in Georgia, man, look here. Black folks would have swarmed down on him so fast, man, like, hey, bro, no, you ain't about to do that. Oh, that would have been a different outcome. Trust me when I tell you, we don't play that down here. See, listen, let me tell you something. As black folks around the country, we got our issues and problems with one another. We are not perfect. But I'm going to tell you, particularly down here in the South, we don't play that. Let me tell you something, man. You got people that can't stand each other that'll put shit to the side and click up real quick, like, oh, wait a minute. I got a problem with that brother or sister, but you're not going to do that. You understand? Oh, I wish, man, that brother would still been alive had that occurred down here. Not only that, hell, it probably would have never got to that point, because one thing about it I'll say down here, man, we don't like to see nobody hungry, man. We'll give you something to eat, man. We ain't going to stand there and just look at you like that. Now, of course, you have to be careful when you're doing that, especially if you're a woman. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, but, man, we'll give you something to eat. Like, hey, bro, here, a couple of dollars, man. Get you something to eat, man. You know what I'm saying? God bless you, you know? We actually have a spirit of humanity about us. And I'm not saying other black folks around the country don't, but I just know that situation with Daniel Penny would have went totally different. But this psychopath that you're looking at on your screen up here, see, let me tell you something, right? Let me really go here, because, boy, I got to be careful how I say this. I might have to go into detail about this on Patreon. You better believe that there's a reason why a lot of them offend or are allowed to recidivize and have high recidivism rates, because law enforcement knows what these people are up to and they want them out there to do that. They even put them in situations where they encourage this. Do you know why? See, here's the cold-blooded thing that a lot of the goofy anti-black racists that are at the bottom of the totem pole don't understand. They will put these demented psychopaths out here, particularly the pedophiles. Have you ever asked yourself why it's so easy for them to get in and out and be rotating in and out when you would think one time proven beyond a reasonable doubt will get you put away for life? They put them back out here for one reason: to get more police funding. See, let me thread a needle for you goofy white supremacists that's always talking about black folks. And salute to us, Kenny Collins, for the cash out. Let me thread this needle. You better understand the correlation between Big Pharma and your so-called black to blue law enforcement. Just like there's no money in curing you and Big Pharma only makes money in treating you, so too with the so-called police force. Hey, if there's no manufactured crime, then they don't get more funding. Yeah, you never thought about it like that. But no, black people are the problem though, huh? Okay, we gonna see how much of a problem we are here when we finish this presentation tonight. Let's let it continue.
I was actually doing right. This is what God wanted me to do.
While his mindset about that may have changed, Franklin still seems to relish in the fact that he is viewed as a hero by certain extremist groups.
Do you think you're a hero to those hate groups?
Well, that's what they tell me, you know.
Gary Ray Bowles. Also featured on the A&E docuseries The Killer Speaks was Gary Ray Bowles. Bowles' victims were largely gay men who lived along the Interstate 95 highway, earning him the nickname I-95 Killer.
Oh, you know I got to pause this and deal with this because, see, you know the other lie that the children of the shark like to tell us, and they push this lie in their corporate propaganda, okay, on their mainstream media networks. Black people are so homophobic. Oh, really? I have brothers and sisters gathered in this chat room from all different parts of the country and probably the world. For those of you that are in America, though, family, when the last time you heard of a black serial killer running around killing gay people? When the last time you heard of a black serial killer running around, I'm gonna get that gay person? We don't think like that. You know not, because all you got to do is take a look at the black church today. You know, that's a whole other issue for the day. They all in there. Ain't nobody harming and killing them. They can't go to the white churches like that. And yet they the one that's running around hunting them down. But yet how we end up being the face of homophobia when it's in your community? You got plenty of evidence of serial killers. The Matthew Shepard case. That was them people killing each other. They hunted that gay white man down and killed him. And that was a drug deal gone bad, okay? Nah, you don't see black folks doing that at all, but yet we the ones that's homophobic. Last time I checked, that type of phobia where they running around hunting them down and killing folks, that's in their community. The only way you even see anything close to that is if somebody try to fool somebody and pass for being a woman when they're a man and that person is straight. That's the only how you even see that coming close. The greater majority of that violence across the board in any race of the the LGBTQ community is them having violence against each other. Okay, that's pretty much what it is. In their relationships, they're the most volatile. Okay, then a lot of them be out here tricking and trying to do something strange for some change. They end up getting into it with each other. That's not straight people hunting them down and doing nothing to them for the most part. And this is a myth I've always debunked over and over again when it comes to the city of Atlanta here. Them people hang where they hang and straight folks hang where they hang. Now, do we intermingle with each other in supermarkets, malls and stuff? Sure, we do. Because, look, you can't ban somebody from coming to somewhere because of their sexuality. But for the most part, everybody's where they are. And the straight people don't go hanging out where they at. And they pretty much if they come around us, they pretty much put that up. And they be like, all right, you know what? Cool, I'm over here where most of the straight folks at. Ain't nobody in here. I can't be trying to catch over here. That's how that go. So that's how it really is for the goofies that are not from here. That's always talking about Atlanta, the gay capital, when you got DC and San Francisco. Boy, the devil is a lie. Yeah, but man, y'all already know. Don't get me started on that. Trust me, I'm gonna have some more content coming along the pipeline that's gonna go into detail about a lot of these different types of associations. But as far as what we're dealing with here tonight, let's let it continue.
I just got a bad vibe from the guy.
In this taped interview for the TV show, Bowles seems to revel in the memories of his crimes as he recounts them. Not only is he amused when he recalls stealing a man's identity to evade capture, he also refers to one of his victims as, quote, crazy and creepy.
There's not really a way to describe it, it's just, I guess, relief.
Throughout the interview, Bowles tries to justify the murders, claiming that his victims had done specific things that seemingly triggered him to kill.
So I put one of the videos in. What came on the screen, it shocked me.
The apparent lack of accountability he shows only makes this much more uncomfortable to watch.
I took the birth certificate and social security card. I took it down to the DMV and I told them I lost my driver's license, and I basically became Timothy Ronald Whitfield.
Billy Wayne Coble.
Who is not going to leave this world? Aren't we all?
Described by one prosecutor as having, quote, a heart full of scorpions, Billy Wayne Coble killed his estranged wife's parents and brother. Coble remained on death row in Texas for nearly 30 years before he was executed by lethal injection in February of 2019. In the days leading up to his capital punishment, Coble sat down with Susanna Reed for his final interview.
To you, it matters. To some people, it matters. To me, it really no longer matters.
Without going into much detail about his crimes, Reed asks Coble if he regrets committing them. Coble cunningly evades the question and would only admit that he was behind the murders.
I've already said that I regret what happened. Now, I truly regret what happened. But I also truly regret what happened to a lot of things in life.
He repeats this trend, even when he's asked if he loved his former wife. This evasive behavior is just one more unsettling thing about this seemingly disturbed individual.
Did you love her, though?
I met Karen when she was about 16, 17 years old.
Oscar Ray Bolin. In the mid-1980s, Oscar Ray Bolin killed 3 women throughout the Tampa area. Following his arrest, Bolin's cousin testified against him and implicated him in a 4th homicide. He received 3 death sentences and was executed on January 7, 2016 at the age of 53. One day before his death, Bolin was interviewed by Tampa's Fox 13.
How are you feeling this morning?
A little numb. I mean, I don't know how you would expect someone to feel. I mean, if they told you tomorrow you're dying, how would you feel?
Bolin appears calm and courteous throughout the interview, even expressing fear and worry about his upcoming execution. He also professes his innocence, something he continuously maintained throughout his imprisonment.
So you're saying you didn't murder these women?
No.
You didn't murder Natalie Hawley?
No.
Stephanie Collins?
No.
Terry Lynn Matthews?
No. I didn't know. I'd never seen them, never met them.
Bolin looks and sounds like a nice enough guy, which only makes the darkness underneath seem that much more sinister.
After 28 years of this, it's been in this box for 28 years. It's a release. My punishment's over. They can't hurt me no more.
Richard Ramirez.
As far as Satan is concerned, I believe in a malevolent being. His description eludes me, but I have felt powers that are evil.
A notorious serial killer known as the Night Stalker, Ramirez terrorized California with his violent burglaries, assaults, and killings. Ramirez took the lives of at least 15 people and was convicted of 13 homicides, leading to 19 separate death sentences. In 1993, Inside Edition aired an interview with Ramirez, who was then awaiting execution on death row.
They are designed.
Now I gotta go ahead and hit him with this because see, this the part that's gonna really piss him off. LGBS, you got Richard Ramirez in there. He's Hispanic. Yes, he's white Hispanic. Yep. Oh, you're not gonna disown them. No, they get to be white over here. So you're gonna claim your people. Go ahead and look at the history of LULAC. I've shown it many times over here on this platform. You can find my breakdown on that going way on back in my archives. They fought for the right to be classified as white because at one point in this country, they were going to give Hispanic people, Mexican folks, whatever, they were going to give them their own racial classification. Them and, ironically, the Asians, they fought. They said, no. Don't you dare do that. We are white. Don't you, don't you kick us out of white status. No, they fought for that. So this is why when people get to talk about that black and brown, like, fool, you must not know your history. These people have historically fought for the right to be white, and they hadn't fought against it ever since, okay? So no, I don't play that letting them people of color, black and brown, oh, no, you don't. You're white. If that's what you wanted to be, that's what they allowed you to be classified as. I just want to go ahead and clarify that and clear it up. Yep, you're going to claim him. He's yours. Let it continue.
Whereas if I didn't give in to them, I would be crushed by them.
Among other discussion points, he explained his theories on the psychological development of serial killers like himself. Even more chilling, when asked why he killed his victims, Ramirez hides a smile and simply says,
No comments. I cannot answer that at this time.
Ramirez was still awaiting execution in 2013 when he died of cancer. Carol Cole. A very prolific serial killer, Carol Cole claimed at least 16 victims throughout his life, although he confessed to killing 35. He was originally sentenced to life in prison in Texas, but was given the death penalty following his extradition to Nevada. 3 days before his execution, Cole granted an interview to Las Vegas's KLAS-TV. While smoking a cigarette, Cole shows complete indifference for his own life, but expresses remorse for his crimes.
Why not fight for your life?
I just don't care to.
Are you sorry?
For the victim?
Yes.
Yes.
In the end, he even claims that he deserves to die for what he did.
Well, it's the ultimate question. It is the question.
For what I did, yes, I think I deserve to die.
Cole is very quiet and reserved, and aside from some brief flashes, doesn't show much emotion. It makes the interview all the more disturbing.
And condemn myself for many years, because I can just imagine what her life might have been like.
Wesley Allen Dodd. On January 5th, 1993, Wesley Allen Dodd was executed by hanging, making him the first American criminal to be legally hanged in nearly 30 years. Between September and November of 1989, Dodd assaulted and killed 3, leading to his moniker the Vancouver Child Killer. Dodd's final interview is absolutely bone-chilling. With complete confidence, Dodd states that he would kill again if set free, and that he, quote, liked what he did.
I've done it before, and at the time I liked it.
He also claims that his execution would make a great example for future criminals. Throughout his interview, Dodd proves that he was fully self-aware, and a self-aware killer is a very scary thing.
Let me pause this and break something down to you all that you might not have caught, okay? Now, you heard that what they said was the method of execution for this demonic piece of dog shit right here. Let me tell you why they chose to hang him. And I got to go here with it. He killed little white children. Oh, that's a no-no. So they had to make a symbolic example of him and like, oh, we gonna hang you like we used to do these niggers from these trees. That's exactly why they did that. See, I know why they do everything they do. All you have to do is study their history and how they do certain things in a symbolic manner. I catch all of it. They can't hide anything that I'm looking at when I'm dealing with them. I quietly observe them oftentimes, and a lot of times if you just watch how they move, you see that you can understand how it was passed down from generation to generation for them to think the way they think, okay? So that's why they did that. I just want to point that part out. So let it continue.
Forward to dying? In a way, yeah. I think it'd be a relief. I don't have to think about all these things anymore. And I know that's the only way I can guarantee I'm not going to hurt anybody else.
Velma Barfield. The first woman to be lethally injected, Velma Barfield killed 6 people between 1969 and 1978. She was convicted for just one homicide, that of her boyfriend, Roland Stewart Taylor. However, it was enough to ensure a death sentence, and Barfield was executed on November 2, 1984. Her interview with Raleigh's WBTV shows.
Now, let me pause this right here because, see, this is something I want to drill into the heads of our people, and particularly any of those of you that are in the hard-headed tether class, okay? You better pay attention to what I'm about to say next. You better take a good look at this image on the screen. Unfortunately, you have a lot of people, some in our community, that when you see this little old white lady, you think, oh, she's safe, she's harmless. Oh, no, 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 no. She's twice as vicious as her man. Let me explain to you why. The white supremacist female is twice as dangerous as her man. One, she's not in a power position, and she resents that. This is why they came up with feminism, to fight against their man for a bigger slice of the white supremacist pie. So, in conjunction with not being in power, they've been abused by their men. If you know your history, the first slaves were their own women. Oh, yes, over there in White Conda, Europe. Oh, yeah, they had their women enslaved. Yes, they did. That is true history. Look it up. So now when you compare and contrast their history to present day, listen, man, let me tell you something. I'm going to thread one more needle for you in case a lot of y'all don't understand why I'm telling you that she's not a one-off. You better stop and look at Eva Braun and Adolf Hitler. Now, why am I bringing it up? Even though they're in Germany, I want you to pay attention. I don't care whether it's Adolf Hitler, Stalin, Okay, whoever you want to name, Mussolini, any of the most demonic white dictators you ever named. Each one of them always has a white woman at their side that's willing to overlook all those atrocities as long as it's something in it to benefit them. Now, do you know what type of demonic soulless entity you must have to be to do that? You overlook and underestimate these white supremacist Karens at your own peril. They are twice as demonic as their men. You understand me? A lot of the hell that you sisters catch on them jobs is because these Karens be running the human resources, egging their men on to either fire you or write you up, etc., etc. Okay? Yeah. See, when I thread a needle, I like to make sense of it so that you actually think about it. Let's let it continue.
A woman in pain rather than one who causes it. She seemingly attempts to garner sympathy by speaking about her isolation in prison and her years-long battle with drugs.
The last 10 years was just like that. Years of a drug nightmare.
She also credits God for getting her through the trials and tribulations of prison life.
Living in prison every day is a struggle, even at its best. And I know that without him and his strength that has sustained me, I couldn't have made it even thus far.
While Barfield apologizes for her crimes, most of the interview is about her, and it may rub many viewers the wrong way.
Today, if it were possible, I wish that I could take every bit of hurt on myself.
John Wayne Gacy. Known widely as the Killer Clown, John Wayne Gacy claimed at least 33 lives inside his suburban Chicago home. At the time, Gacy set an American record for the most homicide convictions. In 1992, he spoke with Walter Jacobson of CBS 2 Chicago as part of a television event. In a rather shocking and unnerving turn of events, Gacy played innocent.
If they want to be convinced they're brainwashed into what they believe, then fine, then go ahead and kill me. But vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, because you will have executed somebody that didn't commit the crime.
He even claimed that he took a, quote, truth serum, and that proved his innocence.
I've taken 3.5 hours of truth serum. And under sodium amytal, the maximum amount that I could have, it shows that I have no knowledge of the crime whatsoever.
Like Barfield, Gacy also plays the sympathy card, portraying himself as a loving family man.
I've always looked after my children, even now.
Yet sometimes the veneer slips, and Jacobson is quick to notice the scheming man underneath. It's all quite eerie and probably not at all what viewers were expecting. Ted Bundy. On January 23, 1989, Ted Bundy, perhaps the most notorious serial killer in American history, was visited by a psychologist named James Dobson, and it showcases his well-publicized powers of manipulation. Bundy appears clean and well-dressed, offering a friendly next-door neighbor vibe.
What's going through my mind?
Now let me pause this on this one here in particular, Ted Bundy. See, you have to always look at how they try to romanticize their most demonic degenerates like him. Because, see, one of the most famous things that they're known for talking about with Ted Bundy is how attractive and handsome he was. And see, for you tether winches that's always run over trying to get you a zaddy, you could be running into a Ted Bundy. I've covered the stories over the years, unfortunately, how many of you have come over here, and when Zaddy has had his fun, hey, it's Ted Bundy time. Yeah. And look, let me tell you something. If you don't know about the history of what I just said with Ted Bundy, look up how many white women, knowing that this man was a serial killer, was writing him letters, love letters, while he was in prison. Oh, do your homework on that. Yeah, see, I'm going to tell you something, man. Yes, Ted Bundy is a degenerate, sick demon. Okay, he was rather. All right. But so too are the people, like their women, that will be fawning over something like that. Do you know how insane you have to be to know that this man is a serial killer and you professing your love for him? I'm telling you, these people are a whole different breed, family. They're a whole different breed from us. Let it continue.
Right now is to use the minutes and hours that I have left as fruitfully as possible and see what happens.
He's charismatic, charming, and well-spoken. Not at all what one would expect from a serial killer. Finally, he latches on to Dobson's evangelical beliefs, blaming both the adult film industry and violence in the media for his crimes.
This kind of literature contributed and helped mold and shape the kinds of violent behavior.
It fueled your fantasies, didn't it?
Well, in the beginning, it fuels this kind of thought process.
Biographers and historians argue that this is a prime example of classic Bundy subterfuge. Knowing that, the footage comes across as deeply ominous and foreboding. The term psychopath is often bandied around too often, but in this case, many agree that the term fits.
I couldn't control it anymore, that these barriers that I had learned as a child, that had been instilled in me, were not enough to hold me back with respect to seeking out and harming somebody.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Eileen Wuornos. The final interview with Eileen Wuornos is the complete antithesis of Ted Bundy's. Wuornos shot and killed 7 men in the span of 1 year, and while she claimed self-defense, she was found guilty of 6 homicides and sentenced to death. Wuornos' final interview is deeply troubling.
But you're okay now.
I'm okay. I'm okay. God is going to be there. Jesus Christ is going to be there. All the angels and everything.
She often widens her eyes and yells in a confrontational tone, and even verbally attacks the interviewer Nick Broomfield. She makes bizarre claims like getting tortured by, quote, sonic pressure.
And they were using sonic pressure on my head since 1997.
Sonic pressure.
And every time I was trying to write something, I think they had some kind of eye in the cell, I'm not sure, but every time I started writing something, it went up higher. So I'm thinking that probably had the TV rigged.
She states that dying will be like Star Trek, and that she'll go on to colonize another planet.
I think it's going to be more like Star Trek, beaming me.
Family, you heard it right, and you about to hear it right as soon as I let this continue. Even when they're facing imminent death, these people are fantasizing about colonizing. This heifer, this deranged, degenerate alabastrous murderer, was talking about colonizing things in death. She said it was going to be like Star Trek. Man, listen, man, I'm going to let her tell you.
Up into a space vehicle, man. Then I move on, recolonize to another planet or whatever. But it's whatever's beyond. I know it's going to be good because I didn't do anything as wrong as they said.
Wuornos' violent past, her abrasive behavior.
Boy, look at this here, boy. That face not the stuff of white supremacist nightmares. Oh my God. Look at this, man. There's no trace of humanity and there's no trace of God in this at all. You can see the evil in this creature's face. You can see it. She's not the only one. You can see it in most of their faces. See, let me tell you something, man. One of the things, and I think it's a protection or a blessing for Black people, this is why I don't do any type of drugs. I'm not out here running around being plastered drunk everywhere. When you take care of yourself as a Black person, you are in tune not only with this planet's, okay, the spirit of this planet, as I said earlier, but you're also in tune with the Most High. I get a feeling when I'm around them like that. I pay attention to how they look and everything. You can read when something is wrong with them, even if they don't particularly look like this porcelain demon from the pits of hell that you're looking at on your screen here. Look, this right here needs to be in a horror movie. Can you imagine? I'm just saying, man, when your spirit is in tune, though, it's a protection. Or when you know you're around them folks, you can just feel it. I know I can. All right, what about the rest of y'all? I'm just saying. Always pay attention to that spirit that's in you. It's a protection from the Most High. It keeps you away from these degenerate creatures because they run around all over the place out here looking just like their father, seeking whom they may devour. Let's let it continue.
And her mental state all combine to create some truly uncomfortable viewing.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, see, we have to remind them of what their culture and their history is. So the next time that they run their mouth talking about black on black crime, oh, no. You can use this as a reference and show them some of their worst, because listen, that's just a fraction of them over the centuries. If we talking about a total body count, they hold a world record for genocide where nobody will ever catch up to it. Nobody. I had to bring this here to you tonight to educate you not only on their present day history, but on the demented mindset behind it. Because see, family, let me tell you something. We're headed towards some times here where we're going to see them revert back to their classic behavior. When things start to get tough for them, they look to target us. And since we have history to forewarn us, I've always said it many times on this channel, forewarned is forearmed. They're not going to be finding it so easy to victimize us when we already have an advanced playbook and we've seen everything that they've thrown at us. We'll be ready to defend ourselves, our families, our communities this time, because trust me, family, instead of them trying to solve their issues and problems, and when they see that they're going out, they don't try to do what righteous people would do, is try to turn around from their wicked ways. They try to continue victimizing. That's just what these people do. So I'm going to tell you, just like Floyd Mayweather used to say when he was in the ring, protect yourself at all times, okay? Yes, sir, indeed. Protect yourself at all times. With that said, salute to everybody that contributed to the broadcast. I hope you got something from it. I hope it was most constructive for you. And be looking out for other types of content coming up on this channel. We definitely going to be covering some more things on the illegal alien crisis. I got some stuff I got to show y'all about that. I'm going to be working on that in the next couple of days. So with that said, I want you to continue to enjoy your weekend. Love on yourselves, love on your family. Black first, salute, and I will see you all in future content.
This is the 50th anniversary of hip-hop, and we still have a lot of discrepancies as far as the origins of hip-hop, a lot of claims, who did what, who was the first this, who was the this and that, and such and such. But at the end of the day, we need a definitive story, all right? And that story can only be told by the founders of this culture.
Like everything was being driven and influenced by young, Black, American culture. Like the slang, the style of dress, the initial music that we chose.
You look at all the boroughs, you got, money making Manhattan and money earning Mount Vernon and Crooklyn. The Bronx was the boogie down Bronx. We was partying up there.
I am Coke LaRock, the first MC of hip hop. First cat to pick the mic up.
I introduced rapping to the turntable because when I came with it, nobody in the world was doing it. I'm right after Rudy Ray Moore.
They want to come in the mix, they want to say, we started. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. What came to be known as hip hop was solely an African-American creation.
What would you get out of some Jamaican toast? What is that? I've never heard of a rapper use a Jamaican toast or a Jamaican fleur as a rhyme. I never heard of it, and I don't know where that myth came from.
My name is legendary King Trixie from the Bronx, BX from the West Side. I am the first break dancer.
And that narrative that hip hop has had 3 founding fathers, that's been rolling for the last almost 30 years, which isn't true. You don't have just 3 people who created hip hop. Hip hop was created by a number of different people.
I am the grandfather, the godfather of the graffiti culture. I am the first element of hip hop.
The roots of hip hop being Jamaican, absolutely false.
My name is MC Sha-Rock. I am a founding member of the MC/rap culture.
Cassette tapes was the internet of our time. It just traveled around by hand.
I know for a fact that the B-boy stand started from the guards, the 5%ers that would be at the jams back in the days who were acting as security.
If they get the real truth of how it all was created, then so many lies would not be able to be in existence.